Hello and welcome. I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at Voltron Metal Defender die-cast lions, and I love this set. This set came out in 2017, so it is currently in stores as of the time of this recording, and it retails for approximately $60. Now, this is a very, very cool set because if you're already familiar with the big plastic lions that combine to form the big plastic robot that's in store right now, this is essentially the same toy. Not a lot changes in the way that the toy plays and transforms and all of that, but it is a much smaller, downscaled version of that big giant robot toy, and it is made with die-cast metal parts. So it's got a very nice, heavy heft to it. And also because of the smaller size, I find it to be a little easier to play with and carry around it. It just feels like something a little more serious, something more like a collector would have on their shelf. And I find it really, really nice. Now, this comes in it did come in a big set, in big box set. This one at least did. But they are available also in individual robots or individual lions. But I'll show you the box real quick that this one came in. And so here it is. It's a pretty big box. So, I had to move the lines to show off the whole thing. So there you go. There's the big box. And this is the one that I'm talking about that came, that retail for about $60. Got some Art of the Lions there and around the back. Pretty much just shows you how the whole thing is going to work. But like I was saying, they are also available individually. And they retail for approximately $15 each. Depending on where you're buying them, that's how much they're going to buy. So you can either buy them individually or in a set. I find that in a set you're actually going to save a little bit of money. So that was the way that I wanted to go. Now, as far as size goes, the green and red lions here in the middle, these guys are approximately 5 inches long, about 2 inches tall. He's got a little bit, add an inch on the green one because of the shield there. The blue and yellow lions are about 6 inches long and about 2 inches tall as well. And then the black lion, also 6 inches long and about 4 inches tall. So yeah, very nice. So real quick, just to go through with these, as far as articulation goes, like I said, these are almost identical to the big plastic set, with the exception that they're not going to have any of the electronics. They don't have the small pilots. The transformation on all of these and the articulation is essentially identical. There are a couple of things that we are going to be missing, so I'm just going to concentrate on those real quick. The first one is going to be on the Black Lion's mouth. We have the face is attached permanently there, so you can't hide the face up inside of the head and open the mouth. Anytime you open the mouth, the head is going to show. So you can open the mouth just a little bit, and that would work. You open it any more than that, you're going to see the face, so that's not going to work. Then what else? The wings. So you've got articulation on the wings. You can go side to side, and then you can go also up and down with the wings. And then, of course, you can play with those angles there. But there is no rotation like you did on the Black Lion. You could actually, on the big plastic one, you could actually take the wings and rotate them down like this. You are missing that rotation. And then also you're going to be missing the ears here. They are always out. You cannot store away the ears when you are in lion mode. Other than that, the head goes up and down, the neck goes up and down, the legs can go all the way around at the shoulders and hips. You've got, I guess you could call that elbow articulation there, as well as at the ankles, at the paws there, bend at the knee, bend at the upper ankle, and bend at the lower ankle. So that's going to be the Black Lion. So all of the last bits of articulation there are identical to the big one. We'll show the red one this time around since I showed the green one already once. So the mouth do open and close on the green and red lions, and they are spring-loaded. That's going to help to hold the sword, which I'm going to show later in robot mode. The head can rotate, and then the body itself can rotate, and they can also turn right there in the midsection. The arms, again, can rotate, and you got a hinge at the elbow and at the ankle. And then again, you've got hip, knee, upper ankle, lower ankle. And I know there's probably a different name when it comes to animals, but I don't know what those names are. So I'm just saying shoulders and hips and knees. And I know I'm wrong. I just don't know what the animal what the animal words would be. So I'm sure somebody's going to go down in the comments and correct me. By all means, I welcome that. With the yellow and the blue, the mouths also open and close. They are not spring-loaded, so if you open their mouths, they are going to stay open, just like that. And then again, you've got up and down on the neck. You've got, on the neck itself. No rotation at the head. And again, the shoulders, the elbows, the ankles, the hips, the knees, and the upper ankles and the lower ankles. And then I guess you could say the tails rotate as well. So there they are, and I guess we're about ready to combine them. But real quick, let me show them off next to their bigger plastic counterparts for a comparison. And as you can see, this is why I did not do them one at a time. I would have loved to show the comparison of each lion one at a time, but they're just so enormous and the table just does not have enough room. I would have had to change the angles and do a lot of cuts and edits and all of that just to make that happen. That would have been for a very long video. So I figured I would just show them all off here in one shot, the whole group in comparison right there. Very, very big size difference there. And now that we've got the comparison done, let's get ready to form Voltron. So first, let's form feet and legs. We'll start right here with the yellow lion. And we're just going to fold up the back legs. And the transformation, like I mentioned, is going to be pretty much identical to the big plastic one, if you're already familiar with that one. Fold the legs up. We're going to get the tails shoved in. There you go. We're going to take the I don't know what to call this, a hump. This piece of armor here on this back. Just elevate that a little bit and then push it all the way back. And then just push it up like so. Fold the neck up so that the head is looking straight up. And then push the neck in until it clicks in place. And then finally, we're going to curl up the front legs. And there is your first leg done. Just like that. Blue lion, pretty much the same thing. So we're just going to go right through it. Fold up the legs. Push in the tail. And I am so happy those went in as easy as they did. They don't usually go in that easily. Fold up the armor, fold up the head, and then fold up the arms for the front paws. And there you've got the other leg done. Then we're going to form arms, then body. So we're going to take green lion, we're going to take out his shield, push in his tail, just like we did with yellow and blue. And let's see if these guys are going to cooperate as well as blue and yellow. It doesn't look like they are. The tails are very difficult to get in. They're very soft, rubbery plastic. And you just have to be real gentle with these guys and just kind of push them in and out and rotate them and try again until they go through. They are very kind of difficult to get in there. And sometimes they're going to stick out a little bit just like that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I get lucky, I push them in and they stay in. Doesn't look like today's one to be one of those times. So, looks like I got about a halfway point there. So, we're going to move down here. We're going to open up the whole upper body of the lion, just like we did with the big one. And then we're going to take the legs and fold them up in there. Fold up the ankle, fold up the elbow. Pull up the whole arm, squeeze it up in there, and that's going to allow us to close the upper body like so. Then we're going to reach underneath the lion, and there's a little peg in here. We're going to pull that out, and now that arm is ready. Oh, finally, we're going to take the shield, and before the shield was pegged on this front spot here, now we're going to peg it on the top spot here. And just like that, and now this arm is ready for combination. Yes. And then finally red, and we're going to do, again, the same exact thing we did with green. And you see how much easier that tail went in? And look, and that one actually stayed all the way in. So sometimes you get lucky with these, and sometimes you just have to fiddle around with them. It just depends. Fold up the back legs, open up the upper body, fold up your front legs inside the upper body, all the way in. Make sure that the ankle is folded all the way up, otherwise this is not going to close right. There we go. And there you go. Finally, reach in the bottom here, pull out the peg, and that's ready for combination. And finally, we're going to form the body and the head. So we're going to take the black lion's tail, we're going to fold that up, take his back legs, and just stretch them all the way straight. Take his front legs, open up the panel on the shoulder piece here, and just curl up the legs in there. Close that up and rotate it. Same thing on the other side. There we go. Now we are going to take the paws, the bottom paws of the black lion, and there are these little spring-loaded panels on the back of the blue and yellow lion right there. So we're gonna just put the paws right in there. And it is going to click. So if it's not straight, it's not gonna go in right. And I think I got it straight. I don't know why I'm not getting in there. One thing about the smaller size, it does make it a little fiddlier, but once it's on, it's solid and there you go. So that clicked into place, and now it's good and solid, as you can see. So we want the blue line to do the same. Push it until it clicks in place. There you go. And you probably heard it click that time. And there you go. Nice and solid. And I'm going to make sure that all my pieces are straight before I continue. Nice. All right, green lion. The peg goes right in there. And let's see if we can get that on camera. You can see the square peg here is not exactly square. There's a little bit of a piece sticking out. And if you look at the peg on green lion right there, you can see it's a little bit of an L shape sticking out there. So you want to watch that and make sure that you're oriented the right way before trying to pop that in. So there you go. Same thing on this side. Click right in. Back them up a little bit and adjust our camera. And then finally, bring down the head. Open up the black lion's mouth. Bring up his wings. And there is Voltron all combined. Let me get them nice and straightened out for you guys. There you go. He looks awesome. Like I said, he looks just like the big plastic one, except that he is smaller. Yep, there you go. You can see the whole wings and pretty much the whole robot there. Now, here in the combined mode, Voltron is approximately 8.5 inches tall at the top of the head, 10.5 if you want to go to the back of the wings. And yeah, he looks awesome. And we're going to take his, well, we'll wait for that. Let me show articulation off first. Now, the wings, like I mentioned, you can spin them here and you can rotate them up and down here, and that's it. You don't have the side-to-side rotation that you did with the big one. So you're going to be able to do that, which I think looks okay. That doesn't look too bad. I prefer my Voltrons with the wings up, just because the original one had the wings up. So you can do that, and I think that looks okay. You can't really turn them to where you would be looking at this side from the front of the robot, unfortunately. But, you know, that doesn't look too bad. I actually have come to grown to like that quite a bit. Or, of course, you can have them with the wings down, like he has most of the time on the show. And you can still look up during flight sequences like that. So, you know, that works. As you saw, the head can look up and down, and you got neck articulation forward and backwards. No rotation at the neck. I think it would have been nice to have been able to turn Voltron's head. That's a bit of a missed opportunity, I think. You can rotate them at the shoulders. So you can rotate them at the original Black Lion shoulders right here, all the way around. And then you can also rotate it. Can you rotate them? No, you cannot. Okay, that's with the big one. So yeah, so you can rotate the black part of the shoulder there to rotate them up and down. Shoulders go in and out right there because of the peg. And because of the green and red lions articulations, you can bend them at the elbow. Sometimes you have to move his leg out of the way to get a little more bend. And then, of course, you have a rotation. And his quote-unquote hands can open and close to grip weapons. No waist articulation. You've got hip articulations forward and backwards, and you've got some in and out. You do have a bend at the knee up here. So you do have two hinges here because you've got what is meant to be Voltron's knee here, which is the separation between the black and the green here. But then you've also got the lower paw, and that still bends right there at the joint where it is joined with their yellow and blue lion. So you can still do that as well. You got a little bit of up and down at the ankles and a little bit of side to side. And that's going to be about it. Now, I mentioned weapons, so let's get that. Voltron does come with his sword. I'll show that here. So there it is. There's his sword. It's just gray plastic with the blue piece painted on. Nothing transparent or anything like that like the big one did. But like I mentioned, the green and red lions both, they have a spring-loaded jaw, so you can just open their jaw, pop the sword in there, and there you go. There's Voltron holding his sword. Now, for comparison, we'll bring in the big Voltron, and I'm probably going to have to back the camera up again. Because as you can see, big difference here. And we'll just back up this way. Yeah, so that big Voltron is enormous, and yeah, big difference. He doesn't even come up to his waist. So yeah, huge. This big Voltron is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm kind of down talking him a little bit. I really don't mean to. I really do love this figure a lot. But he is so big. And while it is really cool to have a really big figure, and especially a Voltron figure, it does make him awkward to display and to play with at times. So it does make him a little difficult to handle. And that is what I am enjoying so much about this guy right here, because I can have a new Voltron in a manageable size. He's easy to display. He's easy to carry around. I can take him out into the living room and just fiddle with him out on the couch when I'm watching TV or whatever else. So he's easy to manage. He's easy to display. I like it very much. And just for the heck of it, here he is next to the original die-cast Voltron, which is also considerably taller. Although, whoa, he's not quite as tall as the new plastic Voltron. Let's just get him straightened out there. Let's get him his shield back. Come on, Voltron. What are you doing? Worst review ever. Okay. Yeah, he's kind of weird at the front knees here. He just keeps wanting to bend over at the front knees, and because he is all die cast, he is super heavy and he just falls over super easy. So there they are together, and I may just be able to get them both in the shot there. There you go. So that's what they look like together. I still love this guy so much. So there you go. So there he is with the original die-cast Voltron. Now that original die-cast Voltron is 100% Voltron all over the place. This guy not so much. So he's got die-cast. The upper body of the red and the green lions are die-cast. The back piece and the front piece of the yellow and blue are die-cast. The black lion, the legs are die-cast, and the torso is die-cast. I don't think the head is die-cast. I think that's all plastic. So everything else is plastic. So, you know, it's not 100% die-cast, but there is quite a bit of it in there, which makes it nice and hefty, like I mentioned earlier. And yeah, so awesome figure. I love the new design of Voltron. I am really enjoying the new cartoon. I really like this design, and I really like having this version of the figure because it's both heavy and it's small enough that it's easy to manage. You know, take them around the house, you know, play with it. Easy to put away, easy to put up on display. This feels more like a collector's piece, where the big figure feels more like a toy. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I understand myself, I guess. So I think that about covers the Voltron Metal Defender die-cast lions. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.